So, welcome to another installment. Just sort of updates from the chairman, and as I've said, I think it was in the last episode. I'm going to try keep these as much to the behind the scenes, what's going on with the club, rather than get involved in the playing and football side. And that's because we've got a fantastic show that drops on Wednesday, which is all about. It's called View from the Pen. It's run by Jason, Frank, and Warren, where they talk and they get some guests on, whether it's players, managers, bits like that, and they talk a lot more about what happened in the game, what's coming up in the next game, and that side. And it allows a two slightly different formats. This is more the behind the scenes. That one's more, hey, this is what's going on with football. So not to duplicate the workload, and those guys do much better job. And especially when you get the players and managers on it, it brings more fun, energy, and excitement to the topic rather than me, who you don't want to listen to me chat about football. That wouldn't be good for anyone. So I will just touch on it. Obviously, disappointing result at the weekend, but it's one that forms weird at this level. There's not really a level of consistency, and that will change once we go up a tier in the future, um, because you get more week to week. The squad's much more stays the same. Because even when you think back to East Thurrock United in the National League South, there was a lot more randomness to the results than when you get to the Premier League. So just an interesting one to note that never allow the lows to get too low and the highs to get too high. It's stuff that I've said. I know John O. Edwards, vice chairman, there's a very similar mentality to it of, hey, it's non-league football. Brush yourself down and we go again. I was watching Ted Lasso last night. Great mentality. The goldfish comments, and if you haven't seen Ted Lasso, 100% go and watch it. One of the best sort of sports TV series you'll find out there anywhere. But it's some great lines in there, just about keeping your chin up, and yeah, we press on, we get better, and we keep improving overall. Even though you'll get odd troughs and jumps, just because you beat Tiptree doesn't mean you're top of the league material. And at the same time, if you get a grueling 6-1 loss, doesn't mean you're the worst team in the league either. So you'll always find yourself nearer the middle than you think emotionally in the highs and emotionally in the lows. So keep on, keep chins up, and we press on and move forward. This time of year, one for in the future is really important that if you're looking to get promoted. So we're in the 11th tier of English football, and if we ever want to jump up to the 10th, it's the biggest change of going to a level. And heard when like Luton Town got promoted to the Premier League. Oh, there's all the talk of, hey, what are they going to need to do to improve their ground? And in the grand scheme of it, it's pretty minor. It's adding a few more seats, adding a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Doesn't really matter too much. Whereas the jump from 11 to 10 is ginormous. We're talking about floodlights, we're talking about stands, we're talking about covered standing, loads of different stuff, sort of concreting along the floor, loads and loads and loads of different bits and pieces. So it's one that journey continues onwards. We've got a fantastic member of the committee. He started out as fundraising, moved to facilities in Jason Evans, doing amazing work. And him and his dad on Saturday were going around and sort of reinforcing the fencing that we have around the ground. So the left hand side, as if you're out looking at it from the bar, is now all reinforced. There's bits already done on the right by our landlords when they put that in. So there's a bit of work already been done, but we're going to go around over the next couple of weeks. We'll look to reinforce all the way around the ground. It will just mean it's there and it's more fixed than people kind of moving the barriers as you go around the ground. So we'll fix it all in, and it just makes it more secure. Less idiots likely to be on there during the week or anything like that. So piece of work, but this time of year is really important. So if you wanted to get promoted, you have to apply for promotion by the end of this calendar year. So you have to do that about 4 or 5 months early. And it will then get published. I believe it's New Year's Day, or it might be just after that. The FA will publish a report of saying, there's all the teams from tier 11 that want to get promoted into tier 10, and just a list of them. So that's one that you'll soon see. It's like which teams are serious about getting promoted and want to go up, And then there might be some teams in the league that realistically they can't get promoted just because of where they play or something like that. So they have to just put it together a squad, and that could be pretty demotivating for the team. And it's that'd be a tough situation because I'm sure there's people on the committee that of those clubs that go, yeah, I really want to go up, but we just realistically can't do it. So I'm very much of a mindset that 3 years is a good point to be of like we've got this year now, so we're just below mid table. We're floating pretty much around mid table. And you kind of have sort of top seven starting to break away in the league. There's 15 teams. Top seven have started to move, and there's a little bit of a gap. If we're sat there in that sort of 8 to 10 range, 8 to 11 range at the end of the season, that's a really, really nice first season for me. And I think that's realistically, some people quite rightly said, hey, the goals just stay up year one. We're one league higher than we thought we'd be in. Let's stay up. I'm a bit more of an optimist in that aspect, and that's pretty rare for me. But my view was like, let's aim for nearer that mid table, certainly above the bottom group. So if we can look in that 8 to 10, 8 to 11 range, I think that's a solid first season. And then my view is next season, let's talk about being in that top four, top five. And who knows, that might be one where we're floating around second or third. It could be one where we're sort of just broken in there and arrived and we're saying, hey, we're fourth or fifth. This is a great second season. So I think in terms of the vision of where I see the club, I want to be competing in that top five next year. Cement ourselves as a position where it's like, look, promotion's now a realistic discussion point for year three. And then year three, let's throw it at it. Let's go for it. So I remain that as a blueprint that I want to see. That's not talking on behalf of the rest of the committee. That is very much me as chairman, but I think that's a solid trajectory for what we should be hoping to go out and achieve. So it's one that will continue to provide a phenomenal environment for our playing staff, our managers, everyone involved in the football side that is doing great work and trying really, really hard. And it was good in a way when you saw the players and you speak to the players after the game, sort of how down they are. It wasn't one where they're like, oh, whatever, we lost. It's good that they feel that emotion as well, that it's not something that they can brush off and just go, oh, it doesn't really matter, because they are invested. Obviously, fans are always invested to a slightly extra level, but it's great to see that the playing squad is so invested. And we constantly see just a few more faces coming in, and the faces that the management team been adding have been good. It's little steps forward where they just keep bringing in some extra players. Obviously, losing a player like Danny Greaves is just natural person leading the line, can hold the ball up well, bring other people on there. Yeah, he's not got Jamie Vardy's legs where he's going to be streaming off like he's running a sort of Speedy Gonzalez style speed, but he brought such a good dynamic to the game, and it's just now finding that extra piece. And I'm sure that our management team, coaching team, they'll work hard in trying to bring someone else in, but that goal should still be there. And it was when we were talking to, I believe it was the refs. Yeah, it was a ref I was chatting to around the bank holiday, and he was saying what Kings Park did and what some other teams did is they cement themselves in that first year, and then the word gets out. And he was saying, look, the word amongst refs changed dramatically from the, hey, I don't really want to go and ref that game, it's so much further to travel, to, hey, it's a great environment, it's a fun place to be, it feels like you're at a higher level. And that same environment when you're chatting to away teams, that feel really, really positive and nice after the game. Got that sort of second hand from other members of the committee. But they say great things about sort of the environment and what it is down there. And that word will get out. So when we're looking for players next year, we can sort of put our statement of, guys, this is what we want to achieve. 3-year plan to get into tier 10. Come and be a part of it. We're going into year 2 of the 3-year plan. Become part of the project, because the ambition for the club is to go higher. It's not to get to tier 10 and stop. We've said from day one, we want to get up to tier 8 at least. And then that's the point where we achieve the level that the old club was at before it wasn't paying VAT and it went into liquidation. So it allows us to get to a point where we can go, look, we've got back. Now let's pull ourselves together. And there'll be a luck element to that sort of, how do you get to tier 7, tier 6? Um, and a big bit of luck East Thurrock United had back in the day. It was hard work of John Coventry. Managing definitely helped, but also there was a luck element of Sam Higgins coming along. So there's a fantastic sort of discussion piece. It's about half an hour long between our vice chairman John Edwards and the East Thurrock United manager John Coventry, which will be dropping tomorrow. So a little Easter egg. If you're listening this far into the show, make sure you check out tomorrow. It'll drop like 6 a.m. on YouTube and about 7:30 on other platforms. But it's one that is well worth listening to. And by all means, if you do listen to this, that might be one where, if you are a podcast listener, worth trying to find it on YouTube, because we put a lot of goals and stuff in there. So while they're talking, you can watch and really enjoy all those great moments that he brought to us. He was a goal scoring machine, and he's recently retired. He was playing at hashtag most recently. But no, it's one that the club is on positive footsteps. It's going in the right direction. And it's funny at times where you get a really big win and you're like, oh, we've cracked it. Let's go and cement ourselves up high at the table. And then you get a tough loss and it's like, oh, are we going down? And I would be a lot more relaxed. And I think we're in a good position. The squad continues to get better. The players that we've got continue to get better. You'll have a few ins and a few outs, but the trend is solid. So if you haven't already, got to give a shout out or I'll get in trouble from Claire. Make sure you get your tickets for the East Thurrock Community Football Club Christmas party. So it's going to be held on the 30th of November, 7 p.m. I've got live music from Frog on a Rocket and HPE DJ is playing as well. So owners' tickets at £10, non-owners at £12.50. We're playing a home game that day. So either come to the home game, stay all the way through, live your best life, or by all means, go home, get changed, and then come back. So that's on the 30th of November. If you want tickets, reach out to Claire. She'll be able to help out. She's our fundraising manager. And buy them. We're limited numbers, so don't hang around. It's going to be more expensive if you try book on the door, but there might not be enough tickets left that you can buy on the door. So yeah, don't wait around. Reach out to Claire, buy your tickets. Set to be a great night. So £10 for owners, £12.50 for non-owners. Just become an owner. Great thing, well worth doing. It's £5 a month, £50 a year. If you're under 16, it's £16 for the year. The reason for that is you're legally not able to vote. That's not a us decision. That is the legal format that the club takes as a community benefit society. So please, 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 we're looking to push ownership numbers up. I would love to get in and around that 300 number. And then sort of the bigger challenge comes in the new year as everything comes with sort of, what is it off the top of my head? All the renewals start coming in. So that'll be a real key time for us as a club to judge how we're doing, because as much as the support's been great, you judge it by the numbers. If people don't want to renew, then hey, we've done something wrong. We need to do it better. And that's up to us to take as learning points. So it seems crazy to think we're getting to the stage where it's probably about 2 months into 10 months ago that we had the public meeting. We kind of launched, this is the vision and what we want to achieve. We've come a phenomenally long way from since then, and thank you for everyone's support. One last thing, I think I requested it last week. If not, please, please, please jump onto our YouTube page while you listen to this and subscribe. And take you no time at all. We've got over 200 subscribers at the minute. If we can get that up to 1,000, then we can start making thousands of pounds a year through people watching our videos on YouTube. And that's all money that just goes straight back into the club coffers. It allows us to do other stuff. So it costs you nothing. All you need to do is hit subscribe, tell your friends. If they can become an owner, amazing. But if they can't become an owner and don't want to spend any money, just get them to hit subscribe on YouTube. Does the world of good to us. Even if they don't use YouTube, doesn't matter. They just need to hit subscribe, because once you get 1,000 subscribers, it opens you up for the chance to monetize and everything like that. So please, please, please spread the word, get people to subscribe. Then we can start making thousands of pounds a year on YouTube, which is just more money into the coffers, more money that we can spend developing the club. And there's loads of stuff we want to do with this club. We want to build youth teams. We want to do all that stuff. But that takes two things. Obviously, there's an element of money, but the second part is volunteers. So if you're watching this and you're like, actually, I don't mind helping out, or I can help out with half an hour once a month, an hour once a week, whatever it might be, shoot us a message. Doesn't matter what your skill set is. Let us know. We'll have a chat and we can find an element that you can help out with because there's so much that we'd love to do with this club. But thank you so much for listening. Up the rocks. And just remember, believe we can do this. We'll get there. And homework for everyone, other than watching the Jono and Covo piece tomorrow, watch a bit of Ted Lasso. Up the rocks.